as usual, we allow ourselves just a few weeks for a quick scramble and pressure of writing, which seems to bring the best out of us.
We allowed ourselves a couple of weeks to get all the songs together.
The hardest time is, is writing, for me, personally. I don't know if the rest of the guys feel the same way, but I feel a lot of pressure when we're writing.
The last album took a long time to record. This one, very, very quick, very live. That gives me a good clue that we're doing the right thing, and of course the thing just sounds fantastic.
Do you know, Mr. Shirley?
Yes.
That singers produce a strange amino acid when the lungs are stressed, which makes them prone to being overweight. Scientific fact.
Does that have anything to do with that massive ego?
I think it's got...
Oh, yeah.
I think, put my mic on.
It's on.
I think it's a bit similar to when Nico went to the barbers and the barber said he had no grey hair. Just the kind of thing, innit?
Just because there's a freaking plate glass door between me and Maiden.
I ain't got a strand. I ain't got a strand of grey hair in there. I said, you got a strand.
We have a laugh. We do have a laugh, and we have a laugh when we're doing the backing tracks as well. When we're all actually playing, we try and get it as live as possible. We've always tried to recreate in the studio what we do on stage.
I'm more concerned with filming than making a record here. Actually, right.
Ouch, who was that? Ouch. It's actually great to have that because it's sort of like a fly on the wall thing. See us, working in a studio.
We didn't want to give too much away because otherwise, it kills some of the mystery, about what kind of goes on behind the scenes.
Fucking pesty, isn't he, eh? Fucking pervert.
Yeah, there's a couple of occasions, like, get that camera out of here now.
We've always had a great time making records. There's something about this record that, for me personally, this is my opinion, is the best that we've done, for me.
Are you knocking the last record?
Eh? No, not at all. No.
And we approached the recording a little bit differently as well. Kevin Shirley, just said all this time, we'll try working on a song at a time, pretty much.
So we did each track and we mixed it, as opposed to doing the whole album and mixing it afterwards.
I absolutely loved working like that because it was, totally focused on the one song.
80% of the vocals are all taken from the actual live run-throughs.
That's definitely brought a kind of spontaneity to each track.
It's Monday morning, March 13. It's about noon. No one's here yet. They're running a little late, I guess, a little tardy. Oh, pretty girl out the window. Here we're at the studio. We got 8 songs done and 2 to go. Today we're going to do one called Lord of Light. And we've done those 8 songs up to now.
It was about 2 months from start to finish recording and mixing, so that's like unbelievable. It's just so quick, ridiculous, really.
Really heavy record.
A very complex album, I think.
There's a lot going on in the album. It's a long album.
You try and challenge yourself musically, So the songs are getting, they're getting pretty involved.
For me, I think it's a very progressive album, and that's what I kind of grew up with.
Sometimes when you're putting songs together, there's just influences come out of, years and years ago, You can never tell.
I think that probably, if you say progging in, people start thinking all kinds of weird things, but to me, it's more 70s influence progressive, which is a different thing to 90s or, it's kind of now progressive.
I don't think it's that much of a departure from what Iron Maiden is all about, because I think we always take a chance, and this album is no different from other albums.
I think, we've we've always sort of veered towards doing more intricate stuff.
There's a few epics on there. Probably we normally have a couple of epics on an album, but there's more of them on this one.
Good morning, it's March 14th and we are in the middle of the second last track for the album. This one is called Lord of Light. We're looking for the three amigos and Harry.
Getting back in our box.
Getting back in your boxes.
Get back in your box.
Harry's got his fingers all greased up. I don't know if that's for the playing.
But we've allowed that in, so I've got to try and get them going.
Adrian's got the big powerful guitar intro. And that's what he's going to play it on. His first guitar he's ever bought. Tell us about your guitar, Adrian.
Weeds is my big. I bought this guitar when I was about 17 years old. Cost me £235. I worked on a building site for a summer to buy this. And I'm still using it. Still probably the best guitar on it.
Then what is it?
It's a Les Paul. A Les Paul that's been mucked about a bit with. It's been kind of cut around. It's probably worth a lot more than I pay for it, but I would never sell it. It's a stain on it. It's a stain on it.
Yeah, what guitar are you playing on this track?
This is a Fender Stratocaster, Fender Stratocruiser.
Is it a stock thing?
It was custom made by Fender. They very kindly put this together for a very couple of quid. I've had it for quite a few years, many years.
Anything interesting about it?
It's been on a couple of albums and a couple of tours, and a good stock working guitar.
And you can buy it on eBay for
£3,000 after this album, yeah.
And some sexual favours.
Now we have Harry. What are you playing on this?
Very special guitar. Because of that.
Is that Manchester City?
Yeah, okay.
Is there anything special about this guitar?
Well, yeah, probably because it's probably done about every Iron Maiden album we've ever done. And it's been about 3 different colours. It started out as white when I first got it. Then it was black, then it was blue. And now it's the best colours it could be.
Should we tell them about Nico and the wine yet?
Yeah. Which wine's that then? He moans about everything.
You want to grab me the camera now?
Suddenly realise
So now I'm a bloody camera boy.
It's not my fucking DVD.
Cool, who made that coffee?
I don't mind.
Cool, that's a freaking Art Nouveau coffee, that is. There's all kinds of different colours in it.
It's funny because every album me and Nico have a blazing row. Always about the same thing. Because we'll work something out in a rehearsal and then basically, he'll change it. But I could never make out whether it was because he couldn't remember it or just because he's like that and just wanted to stick a little bit extra in there and, like drummers do.
Every album, even before Jan joined the band, from 1983, we'd have an argument about something.
Yeah. But this time, because we had it, recorded down and that was it. There wasn't that change. There wasn't them arguments going on because he would learn it and that's how we rehearsed it and that's what worked.
And it was funny on the last day when we recorded Yannick's song, The Legacy, which is the last track on the record. And I said, Harry, yeah, do you realise something? He said, yeah, we ain't had an argument, have we? I went, no, that's incredible, isn't it? All these years. He said, there's something wrong with you, Nick.
Well, we didn't actually have a row. And we were all saying it, we were all talking about it. What's happened, He's like got to the end of the recording. He's going back to sunny Florida, and they were like, well, what happened there then? And we've been together so long, we have a blinding row, and it's all got done and dusted and forgotten the next day, but it always happens. But this time it didn't, so I don't know.
I think it's time for a glass of wine.
Do that one then.
No, give it now.
Yeah, Nick's having a glass of wine.
Right, fuck off. Fucking early, isn't it?
Fucking early. Got work to do, mate.
I love work. I can sit and watch it for hours.
I know you get asked this a lot, but I think it might be a compulsory question to ask on Iron Maiden guitarists. How do you go about deciding who plays which solo? and do you ever disagree? Do you ever
See this black eye here? Just healing up. It seems to sort itself out, really. I mean, it's not something to really stress about. I mean, usually if someone brings an idea for a song in, they're pretty much going to play the solo on that.
We don't really force the issue, it just happens naturally, you know. There's enough guitar on this album really to satisfy us beyond our wildest dreams, you know, as far as playing goes.
If I was to pick a Man of the Match award, I'd pick Nico. Although I think everybody's played spectacularly, I think the drums on the album, the sound of it, the playing, his performance is just outstanding.
Nick me, old mate.
What do you want now?
Show us around your drum kit.
I already did that.
Yeah, we erased that tape.
Oh, you erased it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, mate. Too bad. I approached it slightly different to other records that we've done in the past, whereby I kind of tried to keep it more solid, more groove playing, if you like. Very famous drum kit, this. All my lovely cymbals, nice signature series, reflected, except for this one here. That's my rude cymbal, my favourite. It surprises me. I've been in this band so long, but it still surprises me when I hear these songs and I hear the performances of each of the guys. Myself, I mean, Kevin has made me sound immense. Oh, this is the Beast snare drum. This drum I bought in Manny's Music in 1975. It's 30 years old, this snare drum. I brought out my snare drum on this record out of retirement, and it's sitting right there on this album, and it sounds lovely. We will be using plenty of gongage on this new record. We've got a couple of places where we're going to just use the sound rather than an explosion. Isn't that lovely? I'm in love with that. Oh, especially when you vibrate it on the back.
Yeah, and he's got a huge gong as well.
Twice.
2 tunes, you'll hear my gong.
Why do you get your own room and they get to share?
Good question. Either, you know, I'll get special treatment or no one wants to be in the same room as me. I'm not sure. Tell you what, it's loud in that room. I wouldn't want to be in that room with those two.
Kevin Shirley, as he's worked with the likes of Jimmy Page, who I know he's also his friend and also a great fan of, do you think he's particularly sympathetic to guitarists?
He gives us a right hard time.
He gives us a damn
Get
good
no
thrashing.
sympathy out of him at all.
Well, all three of us would go in individually and go into the booth there and do 3 or 4 solos over a particular piece, and it's like, OK, I've got enough. And then you go upstairs, have a cup of tea, and it'll kind of, you know, take parts and glue it together. And he has a great input there, and it keeps it fresh for you as well, as opposed to playing something and maybe rehashing something you've done before.
I think we've got enough to work with. I've got 5 different takes there, so... One more for the fuck of it, sure.
The essence of this band is we're a live band.
Exactly.
If you can capture that in a studio, then you're on a winner. And I think that's what Kevin Shirley does.
Sounding great. It sounded really great. You want to come and have a listen?
It's weird. You know, you could play 3 or 4 takes back to back, and they all sound different. You know, because it's a human thing. It's not like a robotic kind of stuff. You know, there's no click tracks and all that kind of stuff. We don't deal with that. So it's very live, very real. You know, kind of way of recording. I've got to be honest, that doesn't sound as good as the original take. Well, I don't think.
I think it sounds much tighter.
It's tighter because we're playing it tighter, but it's got the feel's not there. I'm sure it's all there. It's just
it is all there.
About all over.
Far, far away from the land of our birth.
The kind of singing that I do is very physical. It, you know, it makes a lot of racket and uses a lot of muscles, and I sweat buckets. I mean, I go out there and come in after a vocal performance, and I'm sort of pretty drenched.
Far away from the land of our birth, we fly a flag in some foreign earth. We sailed away like our fathers before. These colours don't run from cold-bloody war.
Okay, we're just going to go into the little room over there. They're working on a new song called The Legacy.
these and then the other one, see how that fits. Right. People tend to ask that question a lot, you know, as to what you come up with first and this and that. 9 times out of 10 with me it's a melody and then I'll fit a lyric to it.
Steve and I suppose, over the years we've actually more or less sort of agreed to disagree and sort of see each other's point of view on the you know, lyrics versus melodies.
We had this debate many times where he will go with a lyric and he doesn't like restricting his lyric to a particular melody, whereas I'll work usually the other way around. I think the melody is the most important thing.
I see that the melody as being infinitely changeable to fit the drama that goes with the words.
I usually try and pin him down. If I feel really strong that I've got a really, really strong melody, I'll try and pin him down even to the syllables to what he's writing. My argument was that, you know, the first time people hear a melody, they don't know the lyric, and probably, I don't know, probably a good 75% of our audience are not English anyway, so they wouldn't know what the lyric was. It's the melody that they go with. And that's all he needs up to there, because all the rest is all over that other bit.
As far as I'm concerned, I write in English, and if it's difficult for foreigners to understand, that's just tough. Maybe they don't get the nuances and things like that, but then I'm not singing for them, I'm singing for me.
Kevin doesn't like it when anyone else touches his camera, really. He doesn't mind his lad taking care of him. So, see, you notice he's trying to get it back off me already. Yeah. My bloody camera back.
And when I was a kid, it was all about the Cold War and the 4-minute warning, and we were all going to get dissolved into some radioactive cinder. There's a few other things now, you know, there's, you know, terrorist fundamentalists and dirty bombs and droughts and global warming and bird flu.
Whatever's going on around in the world, that definitely affects your influence in writing, without a doubt. I just think it's a reflection on what's going on, you know. It's this topical, I suppose.
I've been in 1 or 2 war zones. There's 2 things. One is you can't believe the depths of barbarity that people will stoop to. But the other thing, which is the way people bounce back, is the way that people survive and live and continue.
I just think you've got to be open-minded about what's happening. We're not trying to be preaching about one thing one way or the other, it's just observing. That's all we're doing. Devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other. I mean, which route, which path do people take? That's always been an interest.
We're not like new men and all that kind of stuff, you know, we're blokes. Wars and battles and struggles and things like that strikes a chord.
Actually, it's a kind of a riff I had it, but I had it in a totally different format, and played it to Steve and straightened out the time. I think it was like in 7/4 before, I think. And we straightened it out to like a 4/4. I think it was the first thing we worked on. Like.
Straight away, right instantly there, I said this could be a single if we do it like this. And that's how it's worked out. I got with Adrian together first and worked out all the melodies and everything, and then Bruce came in and wrote the lyrics based around the melodies.
Again, I had that riff as the intro riff as I was going to be like, I saw it as like a big ballad. Well, it starts off slow and then of course it gets fast, you know, as we tend to do, and it turned into another anthemic chorus.
These colours don't run.
Yeah.
Where does that phrase come from?
It obviously refers to the colours on the flag, and certain things you do are not negotiable. Certain areas of morality are, no, not negotiable. The song itself is done from the point of view of being a soldier and what it means. All these people are heroes, all of them, whether they wanted to be or not. They did it because their loyalty to their sort of band of brothers, as it were, was not negotiable.
Dennis Bruce's lyric, he wrote specifically to the melody line, so I've kind of got my own way a little bit more on this album, I suppose, than ever. It's a strong lyric, and the melodies are still intact, so I'm pleased.
Brighter Than a Thousand Suns is about the Manhattan Project, which is one of the most banal titles for one of the most terrifying projects ever undertaken in human history, which was building a destructive weapon that could encompass the destruction of all human life on Earth. The incredible concept that you could play God. It's as close as we've ever gotten to breaking worlds, to destroying worlds and things like that. Is the bomb.
There's a couple of things I brought in, and it was a mixture of the two parts of two different songs, and there's kind of an Eastern flavour to it and Arabic flavour to it, which I was quite into.
I just took the two sort of strongest elements of Jan's ideas, put them together, made the one song, the melodies and wrote the words, and it's actually turned out to be a dark horse, that one. I wasn't sure to start with how strong that was going to be, but it's really turned out very good. It's more about actually going to America, the Mayflower, and going to America, that kind of vibe. It's not one specific era, but it's kind of based originally on that.
Longest Day is about D-Day landings, how humanity can get through something that awful. You read some of the eyewitness accounts, it's terrifying, beyond belief, what people did on that day.
Fantastic words in it. I'd get shivers every time I hear those words, yeah. That's one of my favourites, I'd say, that one.
I wanted to make the words sound like the actions. These sound like throbbing engines chugging through the, through a cold grey sea.
The opening is really ominous. A lot of this stuff came just in the first session, which was sitting with Adrian, and all the stuff just came out there and then. So usually the spontaneous ideas are tend to be the best ones, I think.
Out of the Shadows, it's about birth. It's about being born. Until you appear, until you pop out into the world, nobody knows who you are. But when the moment you do, you're king for a day. You are absolutely special. You're unique. It's an absolutely blessed moment, and it's just a song reflecting on that.
He had the basic idea, and he was stuck he didn't have a melody line for the verse, so I came up with a melody line for the verse. The rest was his, really, so it's kind of more his than mine.
Out of the Shadows was the gem that came alive. Just briefly, I had a lot of trouble with the drum part on it. I couldn't quite feel it, and I actually struggled with it. And then
we put the drum machine on.
Then they got the beat mark. I did. They beat detective it for me. It was brilliant. I heard the mixed version, and I was sitting in the control room, and Kevin came in, and he's gone, "You prepared to be surprised, Nick?" And he put the iPod,
and he put this completely different drum. I thought, that ain't me.
And it was Out of the Shadows, and I've like gone. Oh, my jaw just dropped. So it was that kind of the how do we say it was for me? It was the gem that I didn't expect to come out of this record, and when it just was the icing on the cake.
I suppose what you can do when you get Ian Pearson.
Yeah, I know.
It gave actually Steve a CD, and he explained to me, he was playing it on the way home, and immediately got some ideas, melodies went in, to go over the top of the music I had.
I think 3 basic ideas he had, and I just took the best bits what I thought worked well, and put it together and put the melodies and wrote the words to it, and I think it's worked out really good. It's kind of more riffy and more medium paced than we've done in a long time.
But it's more of a straight kind of through song, straight groove, more of a groove thing, so yeah, so watch out for Benjamin, he's going to get you.
And who's Benjamin Breek?
Well, that'd be telling, wouldn't it? We'll have to find out about that.
Yeah, obviously Steve wrote the lyrics to that, and I'm sure there's going to be... It's so we were joking around when it came up, there's probably going to be a lot of kids when it comes out, hitting the website and trying to find out who this man of mystery is.
There's a line in the song that says religion's got a lot to answer for, and it's kind of an argument. I'm not anti-religious in any way, really, but I'm not pro-religion either, so it's kind of, we've had a few debates about it kind of thing, and I think it's quite relevant to what's going on at the moment as well. It's just asked the question, really.
It's kind of ambiguous in the way it's written. lots of different melodies. Great song.
Great, good God, amazing. You know, it's a great song to sing. You know, I mean, I do sound a bit like Cat Stevens at the beginning, but hey, how ironic is that?
And finally, Adrian, Lord of Light. That's one of your last one.
Angel Delight.
Lord of Light.
Oh.
No, but Angel Delight's a nice title.
That's a sweetie, isn't it? To Angel's Delight, please.
It's what you call a gallop, and I guess we were famous for our gallops, you know, songs like The Trooper and Evil That Men Do, so we've been refusing to do gallops in the last couple of albums, but we just thought we had to do one.
They had a poll, so...
We just spontaneously broke out of this gallop and we just went with it, you know.
Yeah.
Again, it's come from the very first in Dave's session with Adrian, so it was very productive. And again, Bruce came in and wrote the words.
It's probably our most progressive track on the record in terms of the structure and the arrangement of the tune. There's beautiful light and shade in there, and Bruce's vocals are fantastic, absolutely stunning.
The Lord of Light it's referring to is actually quite literally Lord of Light, as in Lucifer. You're trying to be a bit more even-handed about this notion of heaven and hell. Maybe the guy downstairs got a rough deal. You know, maybe we should go upstairs and ask for his money back, you know.
That's a bit different, I think, from what we've done before. Again, it was very spontaneous. There's melodies flying about all over the place on that one. And some of them ended up being guitar melodies and some ended up being vocal melodies. But the basic idea in the first place was Yannick's.
Well, the Legacy, it was just something I put together. I wanted to do something a bit orchestral with no choruses, but more themes running through it. But the idea I took to him was just the idea of truth and lies. And he came up with a slightly different slant on that idea. Took the song somewhere totally different, really. And I made it into something a little bit special, I think.
The opening thing is almost like a nursery rhyme type thing, which is I've always found kind of eerie. If anyone knows of early Genesis, they know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not that we try to emulate that, but it's just the way it worked out. And I think it's a great way to close the album.
Adrian, good morning.
Morning.
So, tell us about the day today.
It's B-Sides Day today.
Yep. A happy time.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it should be good fun.
Yeah?
Did a Thin Lizzy song, and we're doing a Focus song. Remember Focus? That one I'm just playing here.
And I think a ZZ Top song.
No, I didn't. I refuse to do that.
Ah.
I'm going to sit out on that one.
Okay. Well, Iron Maiden is apparently Maiden is apparently going back to being a two-guitar band for one song.
I love ZZ Top.
Well, the lads have had the genius idea of cutting these songs acoustically. So we just got to put two mics in a room, and Bruce really enjoyed the feel of singing it in the room with the guys. So we're going to put two microphones in the room, and I'm going to take you inside to watch it go down. And we won't even tell them.
Did you hear the acoustic version of Tash? Yes.
We were just going through it to see what we were going to make an arrangement of in that little room. So we were kind of learning the track and jamming on it and just having some fun. And again, it was done in one take, and it's kind of fun, and it's loose. And just after we finished, Jimmy Page came in.
He did.
And we said, if he'd come in a minute earlier, he could have just jumped on there.
He could have jumped in. It would have been great.
And it's a good night for him.